the Assam Rifles, they've been pushed back from certain areas as well, right?
They have been pushed back, and there's been a huge complaint also, in fact, on it. And Manipur police have filed a case against Assam Rifles men for trying to obstruct their search operation duties, what they have written in that FIR. Assam Rifles personnel were replaced with civil police and CRPF at checkposts in morning between Bishnupur and Kangwai also. The Manipur police have registered a first information report against Assam Rifles personnel for allegedly stopping them from pursuing armed miscreants involved in the killing of three men in Kwatka in Bishnupur district.
The Manipur police basically says these Assam Rifles aided terrorists.
In fact, this FIR copy is with the newspaper, and it was filed on August 5th, hours after the clip of standoff between Manipur police and Assam Rifle personnel surfaced on social media. Now, this is worrying, Kabir, that you have two different kind of, one is the police, of course, and the other, the paramilitary forces, are actually at loggerheads with each other, and in a place which is so restive as of now, and therefore this big question is there whether there is proper coordination happening between the various law enforcement agencies and the paramilitary troops and the troops from the official army that are there, because the issue seems to be that there is a huge coordination issue when we are looking at this aspect of trying to bring some kind of semblance of order in Manipur. And here we can see that over here, as the Manipur police claim that they were actually in pursuit of some miscreants who had actually carried out with a heinous crime, and then it is being alleged that the Assam Rifles tried to shield them. So it just shows that there is no coordination between the various forces on the ground.
But hasn't that been set in stone already by various apex institutions, including the Supreme Court, that it's complete and utter failure of law and order? You've got various party members that have said that it's utter failure of law and order, but that's not all that's happening today in Manipur. Kuki bodies have backed the Naga rallies in Manipur. Meanwhile, government has upped security. Rallies planned by the United Naga Council in 4 districts headquarters of Manipur on Wednesday elicited support from the apex organization of the state's Kuki community, marking a conciliatory gesture from one side of the tribal divide that goes back several decades. Now, Kuki NP Manipur said on Tuesday that it fully endorses United Naga Council's proposed rallies in the headquarters of Chandel, Tamenglong, Senpati and Ukhrul to press for an early culmination of the Naga peace process involving insurgent groups like the NSCM.
So that is also quite interesting, because the Nagas are another huge ethnic group within Manipur.
Absolutely.
I mean, they are the third leg of that composite kind of a system that of society that you have over there. Also, Kabir, it is being said that key tribal body met with IB chief in Delhi. Representatives of the Indigenous Tribal Leaders Forum (ITLF), a key tribal body in Manipur, on Tuesday met Intelligence Bureau IB Director Tapan Deka in Delhi amid fresh tensions.
Is that because the Home Minister was busy in the Parliament?
It looks like that. A 4-member ITL team was also scheduled to meet the Union Home Minister Amit Shah on Tuesday evening, but the meeting was postponed to Wednesday morning. That's today we are going to find on Wednesday morning. We'll probably see
the ITLF leaders.
Yeah, the ITLF leaders. They were supposed to meet.
What happened in the
meet?
What happened in the meet with the IB leader?
Well, what we understand is that the ITLF spokesman Ginsa Walsung refused to divulge any details about the talks with the IB chief and some other officials, saying he would share information only after meeting with the Home Minister. So it looks like it's a tight-lipped meeting, and it's something that is being in wraps as to what is the kind of information that was in fact shared. The Ministry of Home Affairs on Saturday invited ITLF, an umbrella group of Kuki organization, to Chandpur talks fresh on the violence that broke out in Manipur. And of course, I can see that ad.
Varghese, it's not just an ad. I'm saying today is the 9th of August, and ladies and gentlemen, today is World Tribal Day. We're talking about protecting the rights of tribes, of our own tribes in India, tribesmen, tribal rituals, and one of them, the tribal cultures, the tribal way of life. For many, some of the first inhabitants of land, it is World Tribal Day, and rooted in sustainability, tribal prosperity. Chhattisgarh leads in tribal empowerment. Hemant Soren has also put out an ad. If the camera person could just zoom in on this. It is World Tribal Day. It's got the Prime Minister's photograph also. Oh, I beg your pardon. That's not the Prime Minister. That's actually a Chhattisgarh Chief Minister, Bhupesh Baghel. So it's World Tribal Day, essentially. That's the idea. and everybody's put out their own little thing. Yesterday, the Meghalaya Chief Minister Conrad Sangma also called upon the Prime Minister. But you were talking about the ITLF, leaders.
Yeah, the ITLF
the
meeting,
IB.
but also the Methi groups have urged the Prime Minister to implement NRC. That is the COCOMI, remember, prominent conglomerate of Methi civil society organizations. They have urged the Prime Minister Narendra Modi to implement the National Register of Citizens in the northeastern state to identify illegal immigrants. The group has also strongly opposed the demand for a separate administration by a section of the state legislators and others, and urged the union government not to pay heed to it. The memorandum was to the Prime Minister on Monday came as the northeastern state continued to remain engulfed in ethnic violence since May 3rd. So, remember we were in fact asking that question. One of the Kuki MPs had said that, can you define who are the immigrants in this? And now they are saying that we have implemented NRC so that you can, identify the so-called immigrants. But the fact remains is that one question that we should be asking is that if the Manipur Metis are claiming that there are immigrants coming in from the porous border from across Myanmar because of the close tribal connections that they have from the Chin state as such, then are you telling me that the border security forces and the army were in fact not looking into this infiltration as such, that so many of them have in fact walked into Manipur and they have in fact created the trouble as it's being claimed? So they have in fact pushing in for an NRC completely. But how can you implement NRC where there's been so much of violence? How would you prove your citizenship? Many houses have been burnt. It's going to affect not only the Kukis, but it'll affect the Metis as well. There's so much of documentation that has been destroyed in this as well. So how do they plan to in fact ask for NRC to be implemented? How would you in
It's
fact
actually a very pertinent point, to be honest. Bishnupur police have said that Assam Rifles obstruct paths by parking vehicles across the road. On the other hand, Assam Rifles, they let Kuki militants flee. This being reported by the Indian Express. What does it show about what's happening on the ground?
Well, it shows the confusion still goes.
Context, in the larger context.
I mean, it still goes after
that
May
means
turn
peace
onwards.
process. We're so far away from the peace process.
Kabir, we've been asking.
You've got guerrilla warfare. You've got sophisticated weapons.
You have guerrilla warfare. There's so much of armories that have been looted. Guns are in circulation, and there is what I would call as non-cooperation between various forces within Manipur who are supposed to bring in peace and semblance of order and law and order in that state. It's a complete mess that we are looking at. And how can we ask for peace to take place when this mess is first of all not sorted out in the first place? And right now it looks like it is a shame that it has continued from May 3rd onwards in such a manner, and there is lack of coordination between various security agencies and the forces as such. And now the state government, its own police force up in arms against the Assam Rifles over the pursuit of armed miscreants, so many guns in circulation. I think the mess is just continuing, and how on earth are we going to get them onto the peace table?
So today what's happening is we've got the United Naga Council's rallies. Security has been beefed up. Meanwhile, the ITLF leaders that are still in the national capital, yesterday they met with the IB. Today they might get a chance to meet.
Today morning it said that they'll meet the Home Minister. Wednesday morning will be
right.
There will be
because Amit Shah is slated to speak in the Parliament today at about 5 p.m.
Okay.
In the Parliament. So maybe before that, the ITLF body, because they were supposed to meet on Monday, but that didn't happen. Monday
Then
evening
Tuesday,
they came.
yeah.
The Home Minister was still in the Parliament. Then again, the second day, Tuesday, the Home Minister must have been busy. So it makes sense that they met with the IB body. But today, they must have an appointment with.
They will be having an appointment.
So these are a couple
well,
of key events that we're going to keep our focus on in terms of Manipur. Before we shift our focus to what's happened in the Parliament vis-a-vis Manipur, today the ITLF body meets with the Home Minister. Meanwhile, the Naga Council, they are taking out their rallies, which the Kuki bodies have backed and supported. Those are some developments. And security has been tightened and beefed up in those places where the rallies are going to be carried out.